and welcome to the Flourishing Introvert Talks with me, Jo Rawbone. This is the podcast that celebrates the natural gifts of introverts so that we can flourish in all situations. Episode 202, What 3 Wishes? Still in my Gifts and Gratitude series, we're so far into the festive season that I can't resist mentioning a great British tradition, the pantomime, or panto as it is affectionately known here. Now, if that sounds a little bit random, and I can understand why it would, stick with me because I promise there is some gold in this episode for we introverts. It's just that I'm getting to it through a circular route or maybe a magic carpet ride. Pantomime is believed to have originated in Italy, and whilst they happen in a few other parts of the world, we Brits, we've made it our own. Pantomimes may be glitzy performances in grand theatres with the roles played by well-known celebrities, and they are also hammy performances put on by local am-dram societies in village halls and the like around the country. Whatever the venue, they are well attended, family-oriented and a much-loved British phenomenon. In fact, our late Queen Elizabeth and her sister Margaret performed a pantomime of their own in Windsor Castle during the Second World War. I'll give a little background to pantomimes as I know some of my listeners may not be familiar with them. They're based on familiar children's stories, always with a tale of good versus evil. They are full of slapstick comedy, like throwing custard pies, tripping over, and 2 people in a pantomime horse costume. There's also cheesy jokes for the youngsters and double entendres that the children don't understand. So there is laughter pretty much the whole way through. There are 3 key roles in a pantomime, although the audience also play a key role, as it's the audience participation that makes the whole thing so much fun. So the key roles are the principal boy. This is the hero who wears long boots and slaps their thigh a lot. And this role was traditionally played by a young woman. But these days, for political correctness, it's just as likely to be a young man. The second role is the baddie. It's the villain who the audience are encouraged to boo or hiss at every time they appear on stage, and warn whoever is in danger at the hands of the villain by shouting, "They're behind you!" It might be a wicked queen, a dastardly Captain Hook, or an ogre. The third role is the dame, usually a portly gentleman dressed in outlandish female garb who looks nothing like a woman. One of the most popular stars to play the dame in the UK is Christopher Biggins, or simply Biggins as he is known. I listened to him talking on a podcast the other day about his love of pantomime and the fact that he's thrilled that he can still star in them. So these are the 3 key roles, and I can't help thinking it's a bit like the roles that people occupy in our life in many ways, don't you think? Now, you should always ultimately be the hero of your own life journey, and if you're not, it's time we looked at crafting your next chapter better. You'll remember that I'm a big fan of children's stories, as there's always a moral twist that we can learn from. You've heard me talk about the magic faraway tree before, and I'm pretty sure I will again at some point because there are so many lessons in that book. For the same reason, I also love Peter Pan and Aladdin. And as you might have guessed from the title of today's podcast, I'm using the tale of Aladdin as our framework. The pantomime version of Aladdin strays from the traditional fairy tale in many ways, and yet has all the ingredients we need. Aladdin is clearly the hero and our principal boy in this panto. He dreams of making his fortune and finding love, although not necessarily in that order. His mother, the dame, is Widow Twankey, and Aladdin has a brother, a character called Wishy Washy. The brothers are trying to stop the evil villain Abanazar from becoming master of the world. A big task, a bit like shifting the extroversion bias, I think, in many ways. Clearly, Aladdin would struggle to do this on his own, but when he finds a dusty old lamp and gives it a bit of a polish, the magic genie appears, and most of us know what the genie grants: 3 wishes that need to be used wisely. So I'm here getting ready for our downtime over the Christmas period and looking at the dust accumulated on some of my neglected possessions. Oops, too much time working, it seems. And as I look, I remember the genie and the 3 wishes. So as I'm dusting, I began wondering, what 3 wishes would I ask for? And now our magic carpet ride begins in earnest as I consider my wishes. The first one is easy and beyond my individual reach, so it seems perfect for a magical wish. My wish number 1 is for global peace, and I know that I'm not alone in wishing for that. I've worked around the world with most religions and cultures and have found good intent in all of them. The reality is that bad things happen in our world, especially when egos and ideology get in the way. But hate and blanket retribution that takes the lives of innocents solves absolutely nothing. It just hardens positions. So it's time for a different approach, don't you think? My wish number 2. As an open introvert, I wish for more generative, inspiring, and even challenging conversations that move my thinking and therefore my action taking forward. Being an open introvert makes it more likely that I'm prepared to share how I'm thinking and feeling than some of the other introvert types. For some years now, I've been working at becoming more emotionally literate, so I have a better grasp on what I'm actually feeling and how to express my emotions adequately. And I'm work in progress. My willingness to share also makes me a target for trolls and haters and the antagonists. But I choose to follow Viktor Frankl's advice that I've shared often and will continue to do so. He said, between stimulus and response there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. When people disagree with me, rather than react and get hurt or angry or argumentative, I play to my introvert strengths and take a pause so I can choose my response. And I try to choose wisely. You see, I'm keen to find the common threads that bind us together, for they are always there if we choose to look closely enough. Now, I have just one wish left, so I want to be careful not to squander it. For my wish number 3, I wish for hearty health and the stamina to keep going on my mission. Shifting the extroversion bias and enabling introverts to flourish authentically will take longer than my lifetime. But whilst I'm here and vibrant, I can move the dial in the right direction and enrol others in my cause. The harsh truth is, this mission can be hard work, as there are foundations that need to be put in place. And sometimes it's lonely, although I have my amazing team in my corner now. And the temptation to take the easy route is surprisingly compelling. There are people who say to me, "You should be slowing down at your age and taking it easy." I guess that's the difference between having a mission and a job. The job you can step away from. The mission, though, that never really leaves my mind or my heart. I am taking better care of myself so that I stand a good chance of being able to keep going, but some extra magical help never goes amiss. Now, what about you? What 3 things do you wish for yourself? My classic introverts might wish for the ideal working from home job that means they can avoid the hustle and bustle of a busy commute and/or the office. My connected introverts might wish for more interesting, fascinating even, life-affirming people to join their inner circle. My dynamic introverts might wish for opportunities to get stuck into something really challenging that requires them to experiment and learn. I can imagine my engaging introverts wishing for an exciting speaking opportunity that allows them to demonstrate their enthusiasm, their knowledge, and their storytelling. I've already shared that what I wish for as an open introvert, and others may wish for people to be honest, clear, and authentic in their communication with them. And my sociable introverts might wish for the right kind of invitations that expose them to people who inspire them with their ideas and connections. For those of you who are the blends, whatever the combination, be really selective because you might get overwhelmed by the choices available to you. It might be an idea to check back with my decision episode, which was episode number 197. In conclusion, whatever your introvert type, wherever you are in life, and whatever your purpose, make your wishes carefully, because once you've had your 3, the genie goes back in the lamp and you're left to your own devices. Except you never really are, as I'm always in your corner and advocating for you. 2024 sees the launch of the new 12-month Frustrated to Flourishing programme. It's had many iterations. And because January the 2nd is World Introvert Day, I'm hosting a fantastic webinar on that day too. This year, it's about how to rise up and really be yourself in all areas of your life. So let's land this magic carpet safely, and I look forward to seeing you on the 2nd. If you enjoyed this episode as much as I did, then please subscribe, rate us and leave a comment, because we know that helps other people find the podcast. And if other people find us, other introverts can flourish.
This has been a Monkey Pants Productions podcast.